We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of prayer to start us out. Again, I'd ask if you'd check your phones real quick. And before we have that moment of prayer, I've got at least two families that I'm aware of that experienced loss. I've got the Canola Scott Sr., and actually I believe there's another relative in the family that passed away in his family. I believe it was, I think it's Canola Scott Seniors. Is it seniors? I believe this is, yeah. Okay, yeah, I've got a couple of different stories. Canola's relayed it to me. I believe it was his dad's first or second cousin is what he told me. I've also heard that it might have been a sister, but just remember that family. And also Wayne Kreider, local businessman, he passed away this week. Is there anybody else that I might miss here? I know there are others. Those are the two that come to mind now, so if you'll remember them. If you would, we'll go ahead and stand and have our pledge in a moment of prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together. Lord, we pray that you'll be, especially with these families we've mentioned and all those that are sick and bereaved in our county. We pray that you put your hand on the board here tonight as we try to conduct business. May it be pleasing to you. May it be beneficial to our county. Forgive us of all our many sins, Lord. In your name we do pray. Amen. All right. First order of business, we'll look at the minutes. If everybody has a copy or has had a chance to look at that copy, we'll be looking for a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
And a second by Commissioner Allen. Any comments or questions on those? If not, Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
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 You're not on tonight, right?
Get up.
I'll say yes.
So it made me feel better to lean over, though. All right. All right. There you go. We'll just have to use our outside voice today. Real quickly, there's a couple items on the chairman's report. These just to kind of bring everybody up to speed on some things. There is a meeting tomorrow, call meeting at 4 o'clock in this same location. The Farm Bureau is going to meet here, and it's going to be kind of an open discussion concerning ag issues, agriculture issues in the county. There is a kind of a show and tell immediately following that, going out to the Whitehead Farm, David Whitehead's, and it'll just happen right after this is over, so everybody's welcome to come along as well. In-house, we have been working to update, revise, correct some of our Madison County policies. These, from time to time, need to be corrected and reflect what it is we're actually doing. Hopefully we're doing it the way it says to do it. If it's not, we want to be in sync and make sure that we're doing it the best way possible. And each of you has a copy of those proposed amendments. You can take a look at it, and we'll talk about that as an item on next week's agenda. I did want to point out, for those of you who didn't know, the Board of Elections Registration Office has been successfully relocated to Spring Lake Drive, and they'll be up and running for the East Blost election in March. There's a move, and some of you may have been part of a discussion. I believe it to have been maybe October, November of last year. Judge Phelps and a team came in here and they discussed the possibility of opening a drug court, a secondary location in the circuit. It is currently held only in Elbert County, but they're looking to expand in the southern part of that region, which would put one in Madison County. We made provisions for some space, and we're still working on it to see if that's a possibility. More to come on that. the last item I had was that, just to put it out there, our state EMS director, C.J. Warden, has been asking us. We've had a interim EMA director for the last 6 to 7 months, and to be in compliance and to be in place should something happen, we need that position to be moved to a permanent status. So we've made our EMS director, Bobby Smith, has been appointed the EMA director. The former director, Mark Perry, has agreed to stay as a deputy in just a purely voluntary role, probably very much doing the role that he was doing, but he does not want the day-to-day responsibility. So EMS director Bobby Smith has taken on that role. All right, we will start tonight's business. I think we'll start with the report from the Industrial Development Building Authority. Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. Have a report in front of you there tonight. A lot of new homes under construction in the county, and they're selling, looks like, and when these are gone, then probably most of the subdivisions in the county are going to be full up. So there is some development, some new ones coming on, so hopefully that will work. We met with the Madison LLC folks, it's a culvert facility, and they plan to go ahead with that facility of putting a 58 megawatt generating plant in there along with the wood pellet plant that's there. They are going to have to get an extension. They were planning to start up in 2017, and that's not going to be possible. It's going to be 18 at least, so they'll be going for the PSC to get extension on their contract and agreement. The solar farm, they continuing on, they're working on trying to get a contract with Feather Energy. They got, they're working with Georgia Power Company and Green Power LLC, so hopefully they'll get that, and they'll get that developed over there and get those panels in. They're looking at 100 acres of solar panels in Madison County. We approved an agreement with the city of Danielsville to do their water testing and reporting to EPD under Steve Shaw's license, who's with the IDA, and until they can find somebody to take that up and that has license, you got to have a license to operate the system. We got Jordan Air has opened up a business here in Danielsville on the square. Great to have them there. I think they're going to do a lot of their commercial operation out of that facility. So go by and welcome them to Madison County and Danielsville. And some other great news is now you can purchase appliances in Danielsville in Madison County. The Sears home store inside the Madison County Ace Hardware, and they've got a great selection of appliances. So go by and see them, look at them, and they're Sears, all Sears brand, Sears warranty and everything that goes with it, but we're glad to have that because that's more tax dollars that can be spent. We haven't been able to purchase appliances, and they've got all kinds of appliances there, so go by and see them. The Small Business Week is coming up March the 13th through the 17th, and about 90% of businesses in the state of Georgia are considered small business, which means they've got less than 50 employees. So lots of small businesses. We appreciate that because that keeps us going. Any questions?
Just as a reminder, Marvin, that on the Steve Shaw's working the water samples for the city of Danielsville. Did I remember? Is there somebody in the pipeline? Is there somebody actually being trained? Do you know, or was there a course or something? Or?
I understand that they have got the Georgia Rural Water folks coming in to help train some of their people to. You've got to go to a week's training session before you can even take the test. And then after that session, you can take the test. If you pass it, you can get a Class 3 operator's license, which is good to operate that.
Yeah.
Good question, Mr. Marvin. Madison LLC, I know after they bought their equipment, they found out they couldn't use their grant money for used equipment. Have they bought new equipment since then?
They're gonna put new equipment in the plant,
Or
correct?
they hadn't purchased it?
I don't know what you're gonna do with that stuff. They told me to begin with, it was going to Cartersville, to the plant over in Franklin County, and they didn't have room to store it over there, so they stored it here at Collard. I don't think it was ever intended to put in that plant there, that's what they said, so, but they do plan to put new equipment in there, and it's about $120 million investment. Okay, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, statements or remarks from citizens. If you've got any comments on any item from, we'll go from 7 to 10.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Victor Johnson with Graham Law Firm. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I had some, I won't say you some talking. I had some new information
Yes.
that came to me, and I have not been able to confirm whether it's good or not.
Right.
So I'd like to move my number 10 thing, and I don't think it's been this February 6th. I'd like to move to February 27th, agenda item. And I didn't know about this at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
So you want to move this to a later date, the discussion or the consideration as it reads?
All of it, because it's just moving number 10 item to, I think, at least February 27th.
Mr. Chairman, I'm still going to take my right to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm not quite sure what this is about. I called Commissioner Eastco, who kept his cards close to the chest and would not really tell me why he's considering revoking the beer and wine license. If it's because the owner of the Quick Check, who is here tonight, said on January 9th that he wasn't aware of any beer or wine deliveries and didn't know of any the week before in January, that was a true statement when he made it. There was a beer delivery the week before that he was not aware of. I have submitted for the minutes and asked him to be included in the minutes an original affidavit from Arfan Hamid, the owner of Quick Check, and from Shahid Alak, who is the person that was helping him out the morning of January 3rd. The distributor, Northeast Sales, has an ongoing rotating order for supplies with the Quick Check. The state requires applications for state beer and wine licenses to be done. You have to do them by the end of the year, but they want them in by November 1st so they get processed in time. They don't start taking them until September. So the state license was already in place. Northeast Sales is delivering beer under the state license. It's not their business whether there's a county license issued or not. Issuance of the county beer or wine license is on whether or not beer can be sold. No beer was sold, no wine was sold. The beer and wine in the store was roped off, not available to the public, not offered for public sale. So if the purpose of considering revoking Quick Check's beer and wine license has a valid basis in fact, I do not know what that fact is. If it's an allegation that Mr. Hamid came and lied to the Board of Commissioners, a statement that you believe is true, and you later find out is not true, that is not a lie. That's a misstatement. It happens all the time. It's been in the news quite a lot in the last few months on whether what someone says is a lie or just a misstatement. I have reviewed the county beer and wine ordinances, the state law on regulations for beer and wine. The reason I'm here tonight to speak is the way the state law is written, and this is to provide an avenue if someone is selling alcohol to an underage minor. You don't want to have to wait a month before that store has its license revoked. So the state alcoholic beverages law says you don't even have to tell someone before you revoke their license. You have to tell them when you do it, and they have a right to appeal, and then they have a right to present evidence and cross-examine witnesses. Well, there are severe repercussions if a beer or wine license is revoked or suspended. It's reported to the state license is pulled, even if it's a mistake and it's not done or overturned on appeal. It causes that store and the county to lose revenue during the period that the sales are not permitted. Beer and wine sales are legal in Madison County, have been for quite a while. I'm really not sure why there seems to be, I don't know how to word it. I don't want to call it prosecution or persecution or a witch hunt But I don't know why we keep bringing this up again and again about the Quick Check store. Mr. Hamid moved to Madison County to run the store. He was in Tucker, Georgia in 2012, moved to Athens, moved here. He's been running the store since then. I'm not aware of any criminal violations at the store under Mr. Hamid's guidance. He has a legitimate license from the state and from the county to sell beer and wine. And it bothers me greatly as a taxpayer and a citizen, not just as an attorney for my client, that this kind of stuff goes on. That this can appear on the agenda Wednesday before the meeting to revoke his license with no knowledge of why his license is being revoked. It's not illegal, but it's just not right. And I would ask this board to carefully consider whatever allegations may be raised as to why this gentleman's beer and wine license should be revoked. I will point out that Mr. Hamid is here tonight. I believe his helper, Shahid Alak, who was in the store the morning the beer and wine was delivered. Mr. Hamid was not. It is in the affidavit that's to be attached to the minutes. It's in the email that I sent out to the county. This was an unfortunate series of events, an oversight, a miscommunication. It is certainly nothing that would warrant the penalty of revoking someone's license to undertake part of their business. If you do move this agenda item to later in the year, I will be here representing Mr. Hamid at that time. I'll have him here. If we need the employee or the person that was helping him out here as well, we'll have them there as well. And I thank you for your careful consideration when this matter does come before the board.
Vic, I do apologize for not being able to let you know ahead of time. I did not know what I know until 5 o'clock today.
Well, Commissioner Eastco, how could you put it on the agenda if you didn't know it?
No, it's on the agenda. I have additional information.
My issue is we don't know what that information is, and it's hard to defend.
You will in due time.
It's hard to defend charges when you don't know what those charges are.
I'm not charging you with anything yet.
Thank you.
So let's make that on the 27th. And if anything happens, I'll let you know. We'll have plenty of time to go to the 6th of March.
So what we'll do then is we'll postpone this. We're not going to talk about it tonight, so we're not going to table it. We'll postpone it till February 27th. Until that time, your license is everything's intact, so I don't think anything has been acted upon. So we'll revisit it, and we'll provide you with ample notification when that takes place, if it takes place.
Or it will take place.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, has the item been officially moved to the February 27th agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And it could be possibly an additional week within the scope of agenda setting.
We'll get together and we'll decide that, but I'll give you one date, Victor, on that, and we'll make sure you have that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, moving down the list. Mr. Dalton, consider selecting a commissioner to be on the Homestead Exemption Review Committee.
Evening, y'all. We started tightening up on the five-phase stuff and all, seeing where we're at. So we're ready to go forward. I'm on the agenda with the Board of Education, 14th, and need to get Marvin and get over and get that done. But one thing I didn't mention, I was a little rushed for time last time, but one thing I didn't mention is this is an effort that's going to be made with every intent of getting it on the ballot in 2018 for the people of Madison County to decide. So I'm not going to jump in it halfway or anything like that. I'm going to work on it just as hard as I can and need all the help that we can to make sure we cover our bases and figure out where we're at. So if somebody wants to help with it, I'll be real happy.
All right. So appreciate it.
I'd like to nominate young and vibrant Lee Allen for the committee.
We have a nomination from Commissioner Bartlett and a second from Commissioner Eastco. I want to see is anybody opposed, but we'll take a vote on it nonetheless. So, anybody have any questions before we do that?
as far as a representative from the public, you know, it doesn't have to be Lee's district or you know, I mean, if somebody comes up with somebody, let's bring, we're gonna look at starting in March, meetings are starting in March.
Do you have an age criteria on that public?
What I thought y'all was 80
No,
years.
I'm talking about public.
No, the public,
How old the person should be,
no, sir, I do not.
they would be biased if they was 80, wouldn't it?
Well, I would have, I would be.
We just won't say it.
Anybody but the man with the Clemson hat on. You know, the more people we have, and the more people from the public we have, the better representation, the better it'll be for everybody concerned.
I just figured since you got to John, we'd go with the other.
Yeah, well.
He's gonna be biased one way.
That's right.
All right, well, we have a motion and a second for Commissioner Allen to represent the Board of Commissioners on this. Commissioner Strickland?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right.
And we're volunteer.
That's right.
All right.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lamar. Okay, next item is consider approval of the 2017 beer and wine license for SC Food Mart. We have an application. Everything has been entered and there's a background check. Everything appears to be in order, all requirements are met for the
Mr.
application.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
should we actually have a vote to rescind that other license that we voted to put in place before we put another one in? I know it said we turned it down, but it's still a valid thing.
I think that's probably a pretty good idea, because it was approved by the board. Now, we did confirm in writing with the former applicant that he no longer wishes to have the license, and he is not going to come pay the fee and pick it up, but just so that you don't have two approvals on one location for 1 year, it wouldn't hurt to rescind it.
Just a matter of,
No, it makes sense.
matter of cleaning the record.
No, I have no
Well, I make a
problem.
motion,
The Peach Pantry.
the Peach Pantry.
Revoke the license for the
Well,
Peach.
don't revoke it,
Oh,
repeal it.
well,
How about you rescind the approval?
Rescind, there you go.
Okay.
Rescind the license for Peach Pantry.
Okay, so Commissioner Easko's he made a motion to rescind the license, the 2017 license for the Peach Pantry. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
And a second from Commissioner Strickland.
This is just a matter of clearing it.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the request for the reissuing or the issue of a new license in that business, so any discussion? Commissioner Bettis?
Yes.
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 All right. Now, on to the item of actually considering the approval for the license for the SC Food Mart. And I believe everybody has the information regarding the application in front of you as well.
Looks like all due diligence was done. I make a motion, we can approve the 2017 beer and wine license for SC Food Mart.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. Commissioner Bettis. Any other discussion on that item? Commissioner Pethel?
Yes.
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 Approve that then. You just notify them. Okay. All right, next item, consider accepting right-of-way deed on Frold Kincaid Road. Each of you has a letter from the petitioner. Well, actually, it's the current landowner, Melody Melton, and you have the plat, and it goes through several events that took place in the purchase and subsequent right-of-way considerations. I've asked, or I would like for anybody that is not clear on specifically what's being asked for or what we're granting, I asked Mike if he would to at least explain I think this is more, again, of a housekeeping item.
It is, Mr. Chairman. Quite a few years ago, the county implemented a policy that a deed was not considered accepted by the county unless the Board of Commissioners voted to approve accepting it. And that's just to guard against, we have people who would like for their roads to be county roads. It's to guard against someone signing the deed over to the county, going down to the courthouse and recording it, and then claiming that's a county road without the county's knowledge that that's been done. So, which is obviously not what happened in this case. This is intended to be a county road. It was just an oversight on accepting this one right-of-way deed. But that's the reason for the policy, and so we do need to accept it now.
And as another piece of information, this allows also for the tax digest to reflect what the property owner is responsible for paying by the entire amount that goes to the road.
Correct.
Motion to accept the right-of-way deed for Old Kincaid Road.
Okay, have a motion to accept the right-of-way deed. Second? I have a second, Commissioner Allen. Any discussion, any further discussion? Commissioner Eastco?
Yes.
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 Okay. Next item. So little education is a dangerous thing. This is a consent agenda. We just learned that you can group some things of similar nature that require very little discussion, assuming they required a little discussion, and knock them all out at one time. We have several seats on the Recreation Department Advisory Board, appointments that need to be made. We have some people that have vacated, some that are wanting to serve. In District 1, Commissioner Allen has got, is recommending a Chris Gunnels to serve on that board. District 5, Commissioner Eastco is requesting Donna Adams. And an at-large member of the board countywide is, I'm recommending that Darrell Wood fill that. Darrell has some previous experience on that board and has agreed and has asked to return to that. So those are the three appointees or appointments, and we'll just look for a vote to approve. You can approve all, or you can make an exception if you want to discuss one of them. So
Motion to approve all three.
a motion to approve all three appointments.
Second.
Okay, I have a second from Commissioner Allen on these. Any comments or discussion on that?
I know they have a meeting tomorrow, so it'll be the first meeting for this.
Here's we're going to try your newly passed suspension guidance is going to be in action tomorrow. We have an appeal on a suspension that will take place tomorrow at the rec department, so we'll welcome those new members then. So, all right, we're back to Commissioner Allen.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. All right. Moving on now to roads up.
I don't have anything, Chairman.
Good. Nothing? Urgent matters? No, sir. No sense of urgency. All right. Statements and remarks from citizens. This is just kind of an open opportunity for anybody who'd like to make any comment or remark here. Wow. We're going to get it for the bell tolls here. Any reason, sir, for an executive session by chance?
Yes, sir.
All right, all we need is a motion to adjourn.
Well, do we adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn. Second, Commissioner Allen. Have a pleasant evening.